Past the last farmhouses anyone can name, past any land anyone has named, lays a castle. A castle that isn't always where you left it. We're going toward it. Whether we actually get there, that's a different question entirely. Welcome back to our deep dive into the world of Elric and the Young Kingdoms. Last episode, we huddled around the warm fire pit in Alorasaz and talked religion, feuds, and republics. Today, we'll shift away from the political and go into the fantastical. We're heading to Castle Kaneloon, a fortress that lays on the edge of the world. Before we get started, I'd like to ask if you enjoyed the video at any point to leave a like and consider subscribing after you finished watching. I myself am preparing to run a Stormbringer campaign and outlining a story for my world, so I've been reading up a lot of lore in preparation. If that's something you'd be interested in hearing about, let me know. I source all my information from various of RPG books and snippets from the lore books. If there's anything you feel that I misrepresented, please let me know and I'll address it in the next video. And with that out of the way, let's dive into the world of the Young Kingdoms. We put on our coats, pack our scrolls and books, and step out into the cold as the sun bleakly shines over Alorasaz. As we walk out, we walk around the town one last time. We see guards returning to the watchtowers from their night patrol. Alorasaz militia is not known to be overly diligent in their duties, as the town is generally peaceful. Anyone that causes trouble is taken care of by the community before the guards ever get a chance. As we make our observation and note them down, a Woko from the last night greets us and tells us that their militia is mainly volunteers. He himself volunteers and is issued a standard green cloak with beaver fur over brown leather armor with a simple steel helmet. When needed, their militia gets supplemented by mercenaries who help with escorts of valuables of one of the many guild trades within the city. The Woko from last night tells us that his cousin got a day at the stocks and a small fine over some drunkenly disordered conduct. Any other serious crimes are punished in ranges of branding, hefty fines, expulsions from the guild, banishment from the city, or even death. We share our goodbyes with the man and head on our way through the gate, and we make a little note of some things we feel at more liberty to discuss now as we're out of the city and into the wilds on our way to Castle Kaneloon. The city is ruled by three noble grand houses. The Trains, traditional dukes with shrinking influence over the years. The Lausalms, the other two families hold grudges against them as they married into relevance and backed the guilds during a very turbulent era of Alorasaz called the Guild Wars. Lastly, we have Kal, out in River's Edge, the poorest of the three. They rebuilt themselves through trading timber and fur after a war with Argimilar, which left them with nothing else. And ahead of us lay the steppes. The land is quiet, no farms, no villages, and we remember a man telling us to be wary of the dark lady as we passed him by the road not too long ago. So, who is this dark lady? She is known also as Myshella, the Empress of Dawn, the Dark Lady of Kaneloon. Many accounts vary regarding how far spread her influence is, or even how much of it is even real, but she is widely regarded as the single most powerful agent of law that ever lived on Earth. A lot of it is also regarded as a folktale, a story people tell because it's more comforting than admitting nobody guards the edges of the world from chaos. Whether she's real or not, I'll leave that up to you. Accounts put her somewhere around 5,000 years old, before Aubec was even born, and she may be immortal, though that is disputed, courtesy to Taleb Karna. That is the one single piece of evidence against her immortality. So, are we going to expect the Dark Lady to greet us at the gates of Kaneloon? Not quite. Her actual residence, when she's not defending the edge of everything, is a place known as Ashenaloon, slender towers upon a lonely rock somewhere out in the boiling sea. Nobody's sure if that's real either. If the lady travels, she's known to use a great mechanical bird from silver and brass with cold emerald eyes, with wings that clash like 100 cymbals with each flap. Above the ridge, far into the distance, as if embroidery upon an old tapestry covered in grime and dust, we see a castle swallowed by mist. We stop as dusk grows in and make a bonfire. We share some bread and cook an offal over the fire and wash it down with some of the Woko brew we picked up from Alorasaz. We peer over into the distance and ponder on if this is the castle Aubec of Maladar peered over before disappearing. We've talked a great deal about him, but we never really got the full story. He was the man rumored to have decided to take over the castle by himself, and that's when he disappeared. Some say it was the queen that had him murdered. Nobody agrees on what happened, and Wormirians hold out for Aubec to come and deliver them in their time of need. There are others that talk about Dukes of Entropy and how they were his true end goal. We may never know. One can imagine Sir Aubec, a giant of a man wielding a broadsword of equal size to him, resting on an alcove similar to the one we're resting on, peering over into the same point in the horizon as we are. Interesting to note about Sir Aubec's sword is actually the same sword Elric himself used before he got Stormbringer. What is also interesting to note is Sir Aubec himself is another incarnation of the Eternal Champion. We throw a couple locks for the night and go to sleep, with one of us staying awake a little while longer. We awaken and pack what we have to pack before continuing our journey. Our comrade from last night who stayed awake mentioned he saw a figure in the dark, a hooded figure, somewhere off into the distance as if observing them. We brush them off and we walk. We walk an hour, then a second hour. But the castle seems to be ever so far from us. I give you a smirk, and we walk one more hour. With confusion, all turn around, and it seems we had not moved, though we had spent a long time traveling. There is no easy way to explain this, but Castle Kaneloon mounts various protective charms against itself, employing the help of psychological tricks and charms to keep itself from being reached. The best way we can understand is that the castle always lays on the edge of the world, whatever the edge of the world happens to be. By the time of Aubec, it laid above a river valley. In Elric's days, it was further south in the steppes that did not even exist when Aubec first found it. So there may be no fixed point to walk towards. We may walk for days and never get close. And that may not be for not trying hard enough. It may be simply because we were never meant to reach it by walking. Some things are beyond the reach of mortals, and only legends like Aubec may hope to reach out and grasp it.
For now, we collect our bearings and consult our maps and charts. Castle Kaneloon may look as it's within our grasp, but we may never reach it, so we set course for our next destination. Looks as we're not too far from Filkar, and past that, Argimilar. The cow family back in Alorasaz would certainly have something to say to that. And for now, we set course to Argimilar, where rich ports and barrens await us.
And as always, make sure you subscribe to explore the rest of Moorcock's world with me, and be aware the journey will be long and perilous, and I'll be glad to have you with me.